Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to Divination class with Professor Connell. We will be sorting you into your proper houses. No, I am Charlie. I am the Chief Mystery Officer here at Momentus. Happy Halloween. Happy early Samhain. Happy all the things, all the lovely things happening. Dia de los Muertos is coming. We got so much happening. The chat is open. Hello, everybody. Hello, Bristol, UK. I love this part. I love seeing where everybody's from. Happy Halloween, my little pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, so we're excited to have you here for what I can foretell will leave you with some terrible puns, some fun activities, and some things you can do maybe tonight by yourself or with others. Ruthie is here, and we are going to have some fun. A few quick things. We have quite a large assembly here with us tonight. Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, Ohio. Hello, Pennsylvania. We have quite a large assembly of people here tonight, so just bear with us. Have some patience. Meet and greets if you're here. Just stay here in the Zoom, and everyone will exit out at the end, and we will, get going with all the shenanigans of the meet and greets right after. So just stick around right here. If you have a working camera and mic, we'll have time for just a couple of questions. So if you have a working camera and mic, if you want to just hit the raised hand button when we call for questions, if you want to come on and ask questions from Ruthie about what you're learning about these fun things that we're going to be doing, please use that feature. There's a little under the bar there. You go down and you go click and you go boop, and then reactions and you go raise hand. I'm going to try to slow down my speaking because we have the amazing Berto here, Spider Berto, who is here to help us interpret. A couple quick reminders before we move on to our class. We have two events coming up in November that we've announced so far. Samba Shoot from a show will be baking gentle beard cupcakes, a white and fluffy decadent one and a brooding dark chocolate one. That's on the 18th. We just announced also our first Game for Good event, which is a role-playing game hosted by Travis McElroy and with our friend Todd Stashwick and some other special guests that will be announced. That was our first. It's a role-playing game where you determine the outcome. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Todd and Travis are amazing. I'm so excited for that. And then we also have another event that we're about to announce in the matter of days. We have another book event coming up with the Padalecki book club over there. Those voracious readers, our little Momentus book corner event. Brianne Randall will be chatting about the unfortunate side effects of heartbreak and magic, a very exciting book. It's her first book, and I'm sure it will be a lot of fun. But so Momentus Plus is right there. Ruthie's here. Yes.
Ruthie and friends.
Oh, who are your friends here?
Charlie, Bonzo. This is Elisa and Debbie.
Sounds like you made those up, but we'll allow it.
This is not.
Yes, everybody, the chat is lit up that you're here now. Ruth, how are you? Happy Halloween.
Full of the cold. So even more need to drink tea. So I'm happy to be here.
Very smart. Always good to have a cuppa. Well, we're excited to get into it. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about how you got into this whole business of divination?
Well, I was going to say I got into this whole business because you asked me, Charlie.
Yeah, she coughed. Yeah, great. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I think it's part of the culture in Scotland, and I think it's becoming more and more part of the culture just in general. I saw it. I saw the change from when I was playing a certain character in a certain television show, and I saw, I felt like a progression and an allowance of leaning more into esoteric things and divination. And it turns out though that my great grandmother used to read the tea leaves, and what I liked about it was when my grandma told me about it was that it was very practical. It wasn't like woo woo. It was just very practical, down to earth people. At the same time, why would you not know things about people or have intuitions about things? So yeah, so I've been given more and more license over the last few years to indulge myself in all these kinds of things. And so, yeah, I thought it'd be a really fun way to spend some time on Halloween when the veil is
Yeah.
and see what comes through. Yeah, and we recently had some merchandise on the stands website. So I've got those things. I've also got stuff, if you didn't get anything, don't worry. I'm going to show you a little bit how to use the pendulum and to read the leaves.
Yes. And
Thanks.
it's true. You don't need those particular products in order to do this, but those are very helpful ones. And you might refer back to, that came with a book and
I'm going to use a little paragraph from the book that I really liked over the tea leaves. So yeah, we're going to use everything. And but if you don't have anything, don't worry. You just need some tea in a cup.
and we will send everyone here a link to this video after it's done, after this class is over, so that you can watch it later. So if you don't have your materials right to hand, it's okay. We'll send you the video
Yeah,
later. You can rewatch.
you can rewatch and check all the things I said wrong.
Great. We can fact check Ruthie. That'll be half the fun. That'll be class number 2. Okay, great. Well, Ruthie, if you want to take it away, I'm fascinated by this. It's such a cool trade,
Yeah, and I think it's really accessible. So first of all, what I'm going to start to do it is I'm going to prepare each of the things. So at home, you can take a few minutes to do these things too. It's not too late. So for the pendulum, I have this one that we just recently had on the stands website, but don't worry if you don't have one. What you need is any kind of chain, any kind of crystal, or even a ring or something that means something to you. So if you don't have one ready, maybe just spend a second, rummage through your jewelry box and get one and put one together. Mine was lying out in the sunshine just now. I thought that was a nice way. You talk about seasoning tarot cards, maybe cleansing crystals, getting them ready. So this is a brand new one. I haven't really used it. As I said, I had it out in the sunshine. So if you have one at home just now, you just lay it down in a ray of sunlight just now for a couple of minutes. Think nice thoughts about it purifying and cleansing. And what I also have, just to really make sure, is I have a huge chunk of sage. Now I just like burning things. I don't know about you. Maybe there's the Aries in me or the witch in me. But do this very carefully. Okay. Do not set your house on fire or your fringe or anything else. I've never done that. I've never accidentally set my hair on fire. Be very careful. Get permission if you're under a certain age from someone. Oh, don't drop your crystal. Don't do that. What I sometimes do is just let the crystal or the pendulum just waft around in the sage. If you can see, there is smoke. It's not really showing on camera, but there's a fair blaze here. And there's Rob sneaking out. Bye, Rob. He's trying to be quiet. Yeah, just give it a little douse to make sure it's super, super clean. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this down for a second. I've got a nice crystal to lie on top of. I'm just going to lay it down for a second before we employ our pendulum, and I'm going to just talk about preparing the tea leaves. So if you have your special cup from the stand site, great. If you don't worry. Any kind of plain cup and saucer will do. And use just a pinch. Now I use too much, and I've been sipping mine in preparation and been getting lots of it in my teeth. So you have to tell me if you see any. So you just need a little pinch. I use some of the darker leaves that were in here, just for the contrast. So what you do is you pop just a pinch of the loose leaf tea. It doesn't work if you rip open a tea bag. That stuff's too fine, I think, in there. And you pour your boiling water on. You can go and do this just now. I can't see you. I can't tell if you're paying attention or running away, or if you're nude doing this. I don't know what's going on. But feel free now to go and boil the kettle. Pour some water in. Now, what I've been doing with my 2 cups of tea is I've just been sipping them. And what we're going to do is just sip away. The tea leaves are good for answering questions about anything, really. The crystal pendulum is really good for yes or no questions. Often in tarot, you can do both, but you have to set it up in a specific way. With tea leaves, it's more like, I know what I want to know about. Do you know what you want to know about? I hope so. Just think of something you want to know more about. And as you've got your tea and your cup and your tea leaves, and sip away over the next 5-10 minutes when we look at pendulum. Just your energy and the energy of what you're thinking about will go into the magic brew. That's the idea anyway. So hopefully by now you've got maybe started seasoning your crystal, cleansing your crystal, and maybe you've got your tea kind of ready-ish, and just keep sipping away. Don't burn yourself. Sip gently. Don't do what I do. Do as I say. Okay, so I love these because they're so simple and so powerful. And the way you start when you have a cleansed and seasoned crystal is you let the crystal decide what is yes and what is no. And there's different ways of doing it. You can say to the crystal, first of all, you hold it over the palm, the center of the palm of your own hand, or if you're doing it for someone else, over their palm. And you can either say something like, show me a yes, or you can answer a question where you know the answer is yes. Like, is my name Ruth? Okay, and just give it a second. And my crystal has started to rotate clockwise. So now we know that, yes, my name is Ruth. You could then say, oh, it just came to a rest naturally anyway. You can see when it just kind of hovers. You can then say, okay, show me a no. Or you could say something like, is my name Hector? Oh, and I'm getting quite a clear no. It's going anti-clockwise. Maybe my name was Hector in a past life, so that can be confusing too. So ask a good question. Ask a question you definitely know the answer is no to. So now my arm's getting a little sore. So now we know what's a yes and what's a no, and a maybe would be kind of somewhere in the middle. So if you're doing this with me just now, I want you to ask one yes or no question. And the trick is to really, really surrender the answer to the universe. Don't try and move your hand in a certain way towards a certain answer that you want. Really, really try and allow whatever it is to come through that needs to come through, and just, maybe offer up a little intention or a little prayer saying, thank you for your guidance, and it's good guidance, and maybe a nice angel guide. So I'm going to ask my question now. Hopefully you're all asking your questions too. Mine is a yes or no answer, and I'll tell you if it's good news or bad news. Okay, will I very exciting. Oh, I really hope that comes true. I really do. Very strong, yes. I hope you're getting kind of clear answers too. The worst thing is when you want a certain answer and it kind of hovers or goes the wrong way. Maybe you have to accept it. And what not to do is don't ask the same question 15 different ways. You sometimes have to accept what comes up as it comes up. And also, there are some things we're not meant to know. But this was a fun one, and I really hope the answer is yes. And I will tell you all, everyone who's been here today, if it does happen, if I do the thing that it says I will, then you'll be the first to know. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my tea leaves, which have hopefully cooled down from boiling, and hopefully safer to sip now. I sipped this one already, just so that there's like just a little bit of water and tea leaves left in the bottom. And I'm asking actually a similar kind of question. It's about the same kind of thing, just in a more open-ended way with the tea leaves. I'm going to sip a bit more of this one because there's too much to pour out still. If you're doing it for someone else, you let them sip the tea, obviously. You just have to sit there and have a nice chat whilst it's happening. My mum had her tea leaves read when it was part of her engagement party. There was a tea leaf reader there, and tea leaf lady said to her that she was going to have a daughter, just one daughter who's going to make a name for herself in the arts. So that for me is proof this works. Okay, so hopefully you didn't pour yourselves too big a cup of tea. Hopefully you can drink most of it without scalding yourselves. I'm going to go back to the cups that were part of the stand's merchandise. They're in the book that also came with it. Reading tea leaves. Discover what brews in your future. Ideally. Oh no, April Wall. What a great name. Daily Divination. I thought that's a really good name for an author. Daily Divination. That's not her name. That's what the book does. Anyway, over the tea leaves, over the cup that you're about to swirl around and read, it has a nice paragraph, a nice intention paragraph that I'm going to use. Be now a tool of sight from leaves of tea in your cup of white. Help make the message plain of fate and fortune I do proclaim. There could also be something about porcelain, but that's still. I'm just going to say it of this cup too, because just I don't want it to feel left out, and I need to drink a bit more of this liquid, which is good for my colds. Be now a tool of sight from leaves of tea in your cup of white. Help make the message plain, fate and fortune I do proclaim. Okay, so this is the bit which I think is a bit more kind of common sense. What I'm going to do right now is kind of make sure I've got both my feet in the ground, feel my hips in the chair, center myself, calm myself. I'm thinking about the thing I want to know about, having it in myself, the question I want answered. Take a second to do that for yourselves if you're doing this with me. Hopefully I'm not rattling through this too fast for you to do it. And I'm going to do it with this cup first. So what you do is you take the cup in your left hand. I don't know if that's how it looks on camera to you, but this is my left hand. And as I sit here thinking about what I want to know about, I'm going to swirl the cup 3 times anti-clockwise. Okay, and I'm going to get my saucer. There's only like a teaspoonful of liquid left. And I'm going to very carefully, I don't know if you want to do it this way and then turn it upside down, or however you want to do it, just very, very carefully. I want to do it how Berto just did it, that looked good. Turn the cup upside down and just allow it to settle. And I'm just going to do it with my other cup because I want to see if I get the same answer from both cups or something completely different. Okay. Okay. Maybe a little bit too much liquid left. Hold on. Got some of my teeth. It's very glamorous. So again, I'm just going to feel my feet in the ground, center myself, center my breath. Think about what it is I want to know more about. Swirl it 3 times, anti-clockwise. Turn the cup to the saucer. I didn't spill any in my leg just now. It's fine. I don't look like I've did an accident at all. It's fine. So, so now I'm going to go back to my first cup. It's rested for about a minute. Now I'm going to turn it the right way around, and I'm going to make sure that the handle is pointing to me, like due south. That makes sense. And what you do is you read the cup clockwise from the left, the outside, the handle facing you, round the way. And the thing to also bear in mind is that the top of the rim is the nearer future. Middle of the cup is the further away future. Okay. And then the bottom is the distant future. Okay, so in my near future, the thing that I can see here is some tea just on the torch flame. And then this, with this cup, it's really easy. There's a whole guide, and I think I know what the torch means already. It illustrates dedication and progress. So I'm taking that in answer to my question about, will I have this certain thing that I want? I'm going to take that as there's dedication, there's progress towards it. It's not a no. But it's not maybe going to happen this year or very, very soon. Okay. So now I'm looking at this cup. And funnily enough, there's a little spot of tea in the same area in the more medium future, slightly longer distance. So I think more of the same. And interestingly, a lot of my stuff, some of it's to the center, a lot of it is more in the further away. And this would take this goal that I have is something that would take a little bit of building towards. So that's okay. And so at the bottom of this cup, there's some of the symbols, like the sun, the moon, the astrological symbols. And below the torch, it says, beware of quarrels amongst friends. Okay, don't fight. The chat. Don't do that. Sometimes you don't always get the future you're looking for. I'm looking at it further. I put too many tea leaves in this one, to be honest. There's too many things, I think, going on for me to really tell.
Can we see it, Ruthie? Can we take a look at your tea leaves?
Yeah, I'm scared if I tip it up, it's going to totally.
Yeah. So you see how they all lay in different sections there.
There's probably a few too many, just a few too many leaves in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my intuition. And I'm not going to look at everything because there's a lot of things. But what I'm seeing in the far distant future, which also, as I'm reading it going round this way. There's a black tea leaf in this one here, and in this one here. I'm going to read that. That seems to me to be something. Oh no, Saturn. Something of value will be lost. Oh no, what am I going to lose? I am actually quite, I do lose things. I usually find them again though. I usually do find them again. It takes a second. Let me see if there's any good news. I'm going to try and find myself some good news in the bottom of my cup. Oh, and I think the thing to notice is that the majority of the leaves are kind of heading towards this little shamrock in the middle, which says an emblem of good luck. So maybe I'm going to have some good luck towards my my ultimate goal. So before I completely give up all hope, I'm going to go to my other cup, which I'm going to turn up the right way around, and again with a handle. Oh, this is interesting. The handle pointed towards me now. I'm going to try and show you. To me, this is almost much more specific, where there's one leaf here in the near future in a very similar in a similar location, and I'm going to look up some of the meaning of that. And then what I have is I have a little pattern here in the medium distant future, and then at the bottom something very specific. And I honestly, when I look, I see a butterfly. Now I might be crazy. Maybe you're crazy too. Hopefully you are. So I'm going to look up. What I saw is a butterfly at the bottom in the further away future. Now that seems quite optimistic to me. So I'm going to have a little look and see, using my book, There's a whole, it's good, it's in alphabetical order. It's really easy to use. The bridge, oh, butterfly. And what I'll do is I maybe will take, it's very clear to me, but it also looks like there's maybe a little gnome leaning over the butterfly. I don't know what gnomes might mean. I might look at them separately. It really does seem to me a very quite specific butterfly. If you're really quite the wings and the little body, and butterflies are something that I have a lot of. So let's see what the butterfly. Oh, this is better news. I'm glad I didn't give up all hope with losing whatever it was I'm going to lose. Butterflies are one of the most exquisite examples of metamorphosis. That would speak towards my goal. First, it is lucky to find a butterfly in the cup. The sitter will move into a period of ease. Oh, I like this. And this is very appropriate for Halloween. Secondly, the butterfly represents the soul. Spirit loves to use butterflies to let loved ones know they are near. That's very nice today, isn't it? No, Hallows Eve. Oh, when one is found inside a teacup, this reading could turn a little media mystic. It means that maybe there's a guide or someone popping in to say hello.
Yeah.
Sometimes the butterfly, this is interesting too, it can represent floating and gliding through life without structure or planning. And so there's a kind of a warning here not to get too lost in the moment. So I think that the message here for me is to keep my eye on the prize, keep my eye on my goal. What is what? Which is always the thing to do anyway. How are you all doing with your tea? Have you all?
Yeah, we've got some questions too, by the way. I can grab.
Great.
If you'd like to come on and ask Ruthie a question about the tea, this process and the pendulum, hit the raised hand feature if you have a working camera and mic as well. I'll take a couple of questions here from the Q&A as well. Do you have a favorite tea to use for these types of purposes?
My favorite tea that I drink is a kind of rose tea, but I haven't found it this particular brand, loose leaf, yet. They do suggest like a black oolong, something that shows good contrast on the cup.
Yeah.
These leaves are kind of small in here, but I feel like they've done really good specific patterns.
Oh yeah.
And there's a bit of almost like a question mark here. It almost looks like what's that star symbol in the astrological symbol, the star in the Milky Way. I feel like it looks like that. I'm going to look that up. And the little kind of gnome leaning over the butterfly, and there's almost like a seagull I see as well. So I'm going to spend more time after this. Look at it more closely, but you should see most tea leaves, most kind of tea leaves will work. There's some contrast.
Jennifer, did you have a question for Ruthie?
Yes, sir, please. Miss O'Connell, we met briefly at the San Francisco Supernatural Con. I was telling you how beautiful you look, as always, ma'am. My question, thank you. My question, ma'am, it's not so much of a question as much as it is a thank you for your acting and your superb work and everything that you do, ma'am. It gives me such a great honor and pleasure to see your work, because I have CRPS, which stands for complex regional pain syndrome, giving me pain 24/7, and your acting has always given me smiles throughout my infusions and my hospital visits. So I wanted to please thank you for that, ma'am. Thank you so much from the bottom of my soul.
Thank you so much. It's my complete privilege to do what I do, so thank you. It's very nice to hear from you, Jennifer.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Chloe.
I met you a long time ago when you came to SPN Phoenix in 2017. And funnily enough, my best friend and I predicted that you and Rob were going to get together when we went as Chuck and Rowena. But no, seriously, I'll send the picture on Twitter. But when you talk about the middle of the cup being in the far future, like how far in the future is it, like in a time frame?
It's I think again intuition can come into it. I think it's good to kind of set up that ballpark before you start. Maybe I would have said in the top room, maybe in the next few weeks or so. The center maybe in the next few months or so. I would say the bottom was maybe like over a year or even further. And I think it depends on the person reading. I had one psychic, Rosemary, that I love. Rosemary Beale. She's in the south of England, and she always says she can't see further than 2 years. But then some of her things actually are a lot longer. She just doesn't like to credit herself with that. But I would kind of say something right about that for me. But I'm pleased. People might disagree with that who do it slightly differently. You can
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Chloe. Somebody asked, what if you accidentally drink your tea leaves? Is that a sign of something? Is that significant?
Sign of indigestion.
Yeah. If a future of indigestion. And then Olivia is asking, how do you learn to trust yourself and your intuition? Are there any things that you've done to try to work on that bond between yourself and your own knowing?
I think it's recognizing it. I think that's the work, is to just recognize it. And sometimes you want something to be a certain way and it just doesn't quite feel like it is. But sometimes you just have to keep going anyway. You know, not everything can be a hell yes, but I do think for important things you are looking at a hell yes. And if it's not, then you're just doing the best you can. But I do think it's about tuning in and to yourself. And people say follow your gut, but that can be hard. There's a lot of white noise, and there's your heart might really want something which is not the same as your instinct going, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
So it's just, I suppose, like tuning into yourself and learning more about yourself. But I recognize more and more when it's just like oh yeah, and that's the best, when it's just a clear yes.
Beautiful. One last question. Brandy and a few people have asked, are there any other resources that you'd suggest to sort of get more into this, or any where you'd go for this? I mean, is there a particular tradition that your grandmother sort of followed, or what other insights are there?
Yeah, I actually did a divination class myself. I took part. It was in the UK. There was a woman, I think I just found her online. And she really seemed to be, she used the Celtic tradition. It's interesting, I've spent quite a lot of time in Cyprus as well. My cousin's Greek, and my parents had a place there, and they read coffee. And I know a lady down south who reads coffee, and I think, there are many paths to God, but they all lead the same way. So follow one that connects with you, that speaks to you, that crops up for you, and that feels a bit of a hell yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, Ruthie. This has been great. I've learned so much in such a short space of time. Happy and blessed Samhain to everybody. If that's your thing as well, I know that's my thing. But we're going to move on to the meet and greets here. And just want to say thank you to everybody here, and also thank you for purchasing tickets and helping to support Random Acts. Very kind of you all to be here. Such a pleasure. And so we're going to move on to the meet and greet. So if you could exit the vehicle at the fore and aft of the vehicle, and keep your arms and hands in as you exit. Meet and greet, stay right here, and we'll just get started in just a moment. But thanks so much, and what a great way to spend a Halloween day, Ruth.
Wow, I love that tattoo.